Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is March 27, 2014. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. And what you'll see here is that the futures are coming down a little bit, but they're still in positive territory, trading up about 1 point at the moment. So again, futures off the morning highs. They did really peak out, I guess, around 5:50, 6 o'clock in the morning, but have since rolled over a little bit. Nothing damaging here. Basically, you're going to look at a slightly higher open for the most part if the market even holds up, but we'll see. Generally, throughout the week, we've had a pretty strong gap up each and every morning, and then a little bit of a fade, but we'll see if today's market holds the gap. Right now, market is gapping up a little bit. At least the futures are up at 1 point. I don't know if we can make too much more out of it than it is. Now, last night in overnight trading, I do want to bring up the fact that the Nikkei 225 index was up about 1%. And if you take a look at the dollar-yen chart today, what you're going to see here is that the dollar-yen is catching a pretty good bid. It's up about 26 cents on the session, but you could see it really ramped up from last night, the lows that were made around 10 o'clock in the evening. So dollar-yen moving higher, that is beneficial for the stock market, and usually it's a negative for gold. So when a dollar-yen moves higher, always watch that the stock market could trade higher. Now, how much higher can the dollar-yen go? That's the big question. But right now, it is holding up very, very well. And generally, that will help support stocks once the opening bell rings at 9:30. Right now, it's only 8:40 a.m. So, again, we have some time before that happens. So, a lot can take place in the next 40, 50 minutes. But nonetheless, we'll see how this opens up. But keep an eye on the dollar-yen today. That's going to be a very, very important short to follow. All right, let's get into some stocks here. We're going to start off with Citigroup today. That's the big one as far as I'm concerned. Right now, it looks like they were the one company. Well, I shouldn't say the one company. There were more than one. But Citigroup was one of the big four large banks besides JPY, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo that was told by the Federal Reserve that they their capitalization program is not. They have about 30 days to submit another revised plan, and they're not going to be able to issue dividends or things like that. Whereas J.P. Morgan and Bank of America and also Wells Fargo will be able to. But right now it looks like the Citigroup plan was rejected by the Federal Reserve last night. So basically, they can't hand out dividends. They got to have more capital reserves and things of that nature. But either way, stock's getting hit. There is some support here at 47. But if this breaks, I will have some gap levels for you, and they'll be posted up in the chat room at around 9 o'clock in the morning. But right now, it is holding support at 47. 47 cracks, though. The stock can go a lot lower. I'm not sure we're going to see that. But I'm never sure what we're going to see. I just wait for the markets to get to the alert levels, and once we get the technical pattern, that's when we react on it. So again, Citigroup taking a big hit this morning. There are other banks that did not meet the capital requirements as well. I believe HSBC, RBC, and Zions Bank, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the other companies that did receive approval by the Federal Reserve with Morgan Stanley, US Bank Corp, JP Morgan Chase, obviously, American Express, Wells Fargo, and Capital One, I believe, and PNC also may have been in there. But nonetheless, so those bank stocks are going to probably trade up a little bit. You can take a look at JP Morgan today, and you'll see that that's up a little bit off the lows. Nothing dynamite, nothing sensational, but it is up a little bit. Let's go into the next stock here. We're going to talk about Baxter International. I think they're breaking this company up into two companies. Had a big mega spike this morning. It's now coming back down to earth. It's very overbought. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole here. But anytime you break up the stock into two different companies, you're going to get a premium in the bid. So just that's what it is. But it looks like Baxter will be breaking up into two separate companies. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out, but I know you'll have like a medical products department and you'll have a biopharmaceuticals department, I think. So either way, it's breaking up into two separate companies, and that's the reason for its pop today. Do not chase this one at all. It is not going higher. Let's take a look at SIG, which is Signet Jewelers. This one is catching a bid. I believe they reported earnings. Again, this is, I believe, a new all-time high, so there's not much we could do with it. It is very overbought as well. It could still trade a little higher. I will not rule that out. So do not go ahead and short this one. But if you own it, I would start to trail your stop right here. This stock is getting very, very extended. It did hit 103. Now it's trading at 102. It doesn't have much left in it. But because of the new all-time high, I cannot figure out where it would stop at least not in the short time that we have to do this. But again, be careful with Signet, but I would not be chasing it up here. If you own it, start to trail your stop real tight. We're going to take a look at Lululemon. They reported earnings, I believe, as well, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like, yeah, they reported a profit, 75 cents, 3 cents above estimates. Who cares? Bottom line, stock is trading at 47.55. It closed at 48.23. It's not a big move lower, but I do have levels for Lululemon if it does come down. So for some scalp plays, they'll be posted up in the chat room. I know it's not a big gap. I usually don't put out gap levels for small little drops like this, but I've been eyeing a certain level on Lululemon for a long time, and if this thing sells off with any vengeance, we will get to that level. So we'll see how that plays out. Another one on the hit list today is Winnebago. I think it's WGO. So Winnebago right now trading at $28.44, closed at $26.60. This is a strong gap higher. So traders want to be a little bit aware that this can go up further. Strong gap hires can go strong gaps can trade higher than most people think. I'm showing resistance right now around $29.50 and then around $30.10. It's a strong gap, so you got to be careful with that. But those would be the resistance levels. It's also a thin stock. What I mean by thin stock is that it doesn't trade a lot of shares every day. It averages probably around 300,000 to 400,000 shares a day. So again, it's a very thin equity, and those stocks can overshoot. So I would not be selling short Winnebago here. But what I would say is trail your stop loss and watch it around the $29.50 level, $29.40. That's probably where the stock will really stall out. So just trail your stop loss. There's really nothing else to do there. Because of the light nature, it's a very tough short, even on the scalp side. So I'd be a little bit careful with it. I want to talk about Morgan Stanley real quick. It looks like they're going to do a share buyback as well. So again, another stock out there that is looking to buy back shares. And that's really been what's inflated stocks so much, is that you've gotten, literally hundreds, if not thousands, of companies right now buying back shares. And this is really part of the plan to get stock prices higher. But it's getting old now, and people do not like their stock. At least shareholders should not like their stock being bought up here at these highs. If you want to buy them at lows, that's great, but don't do a share buyback at a 5-year high. That's kind of redundant and stupid, if you ask me. But nonetheless, it still surprises me that it takes place each and every day and nobody complains about it. But in any case, that's what we're looking at. I don't really have much else as far as stocks go, but we want to talk about oil and gold. We'll start off with oil today. Oil is trading higher by about 90 cents to 101.15 a barrel. Let's go to the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude. And you'll see this trading at $36.43 at the moment. Closed at $36.09, so that's a good pop higher. A little resistance at $36.50, but nonetheless, there's a lot of geopolitical events out here, and I'm certain that is keeping the premium built into oil right now, so you want to be a little bit careful with that. I know there's the issue in Russia, obviously, and then you have some issues in the Middle East, so be careful with oil at the moment, but right now it does have a pretty decent move to the upside, with light sweet crude actually trading higher by about 90 cents. Gold is down again today. It's down about $7 at the moment. The GLD is trading at 124.89. It closed at 125.41. Gold could have a little bit more downside, but I don't know if it's going to be all that much more. So we're starting to near the downside objectives, and again, maybe a little bit more downside for gold, but really not all that much more, if you ask me. Either way, it is lower right now. Spot gold trading down $6.40 to $12.97 an ounce. You're looking at the GLD right here at 124.93. This can come down a little bit more. Don't rule that out, but I don't think it's going to have a death sentence by any means going forward. So we'll see how this all shakes out and plays out. Today's a big day. We'll see where the markets are. Right now, futures have moved a little bit lower, down about $1. But you'll also take a look here. You'll see the dollar yen has moved lower as well. Dollar yen moves down. That will be a negative for stocks going forward. So we'll leave it there at that, and we'll see how this market plays out, and we'll see everybody on the charts. Take care, everyone.